This is Gemara Baba Basra, Daf Mem Tes, and we're holding on Mem Tes Amid Aleph. We are 4 lines from the top as the Gemara quotes the aforementioned din of Rav Nachman. Gufa. Amar Rav Nachman teaches Rav Nachman Amana Haya Devareinu Ein Amanim. Maida Devareinu Ein Amanim. This was, of course, as we answered that's only because it was done al peh. But if it ain't signs on a shtar maida, if it ain't signs on a document showing that his other signatures were nothing, why would his other signatures be nothing? As he explains that the other signatures was a coerced sale, then it would work. But if he says it al peh, then Rav Nachman taught to say emana, to say it was a maida, that would not work. But Umar bar Rav Ashi Amar emana haya divareinu, then indeed ain't emanim. If Adam came along and said it was just a mana, that it was referring to a document on trust, but it wasn't actually a proper shtar, that indeed agrees Mar bar Rav Ashi, the Adam are not believed. But Maidaya Haya Divarenu says Mar bar Rav Ashi, they would have an amanis again, even without a shtar. My time, what's the reason? Shezenitin likasev. Says the Gemara, the simple reason is that a shtar maida is nitin likasev, and therefore one would have an amanas to say maidaya hayad varenu. If the Eidim heard and they said they heard about the whole story that he's being forced to sell a document, and therefore they testify later, it's not showing that the original edus was not good, because it's a mana is nitali kasev. Whereas the when it comes to, the opposite. One more time. A maida is nitali kasev, and therefore they're believed upon that. But a mana loy nitali kasev. Therefore, they would not be believed on that, because therefore their edus would be contradicting that which they wrote or they officially testified. So we go back, quoting the Mishnah that we said a man cannot create a chazaka in the property of his wife. Says the Gemara Pshita. The following is Pasha Kivan de Es Le Lepeira. Since the husband always has the rights to the peiros, peiru de kachal. So what does it prove to me if the husband's in his wife's field for 3 years, for 10 years? Who cares? He's allowed to be there. He owns the peiros. So it can't be that he's creating chazaka from being there. Answers the Gemara, lo tzricha, tekasla dinu dvar mainly bin chasayich. Talking about a case in which a woman, where the husband writes to his wife saying, I have nothing to do with your property. In that scenario, if after the husband fully removed himself from his wife's property, then he creates a chazaka in her field, then you would have, then there would be this chiddush. Because you would think you would be able to have a chazaka. That's the chiddush, and in that case, he cannot. Says the Gemara, 1 second, who cares if he writes such a thing? For Tanya, but we learned in a Braisa. 4 lines from the bottom, didn't dvar mainly al sadas, who have known to this field, mainly isik ba, v'yadam isulekes mehana, my hands are fully removed, it's meaningless. Meaning, such a statement legally means nothing, and he's still able to take the peiros. So very good. The husband wrote in Udvar mainly bin chasayich, but lemais, so he still had to go eat the peiros. If he still had to go eat the produce, then what would it help? What's the havamim? He can make chazaka. Answers the Gemara. Amrila dvei Rav Yanai mas nisin. The Mishnah is talking about that he wrote this document when at the Shas Irisin, before there was a full Gemar, before the Nisuin, and Rav Kahana. Tomar Rav Kahana, as Rav Kahana has taught, as we turn over to Memtes Amid Beis, teaches Rav Kahana. Then yes, even though we just said a moment ago the husband has rights to the peiros, therefore there's no way. What's the chiddush that he can't make chazaka? The answer is Not stam that she wrote Dinu Dvarim. That he wrote Dinu Dvarim. He wrote Dinu Dvarim by Erishin, and therefore, like a case of Nachla Bolo, the top Rashbam explains, Hasid Lava like Nachla Derabani verse, like, come on. Before you get it, you can make a Tanai. Shalai Yerashena. I'm not inheriting it. It's gonna come to me. No, I have nothing to do with it. That will be a case if you absolve and you remove yourself before you actually have the kinyan. That is where it's going to work. It says the Gemara. And as Rava has taught us, Rava 3 lines down, Concise. What does he mean like this one when he says I don't want to have to do the Tekanas Chachamim? Because Ravuna Marav, Tama Ravuna Marav, Yechali Isha Shetayim LeBaila. A woman can tell her husband, "Eini nizaynis, I don't want your food. Veini Isa, I'm not going to work for you." So this is going to be the one case in which he will have really nothing to do with her stuff. And that's the chiddush, that he still cannot make a chazaka in such a scenario. Says the Gemara, what do we see from the Mishnah? From the Mishnah, we saw that the husband cannot make a chazaka b'nichsei ishtay. Says the Gemara, smack in middle of Memtesim Abayis, the first word of the line is ve'ini isa ha'rayo yesh. This seems to indicate that if the husband would have a raya that the field is his, then yesh, then he would be able to take the field. Ask the Gemara, ask the Gemara, why can't she just say, I wanted to be nice to my husband, that's why I didn't meicha. I didn't really want to sell it to him. So how is the fact that if he has a raya, then it's going to be his? Milay Tanan, did we not learn a Mishnah? Why is it Mekkai Batal? He went and he bought it from the wife afterwards. Says the Gemara, you know why it's Mekkai Batal? Alma. The fact that she seemingly acquiesced and didn't protest was simply because she wanted to do something nice to her husband. Explains the Gemara, we learned on that. It's only talking about Allah. The Mishnah's din that the sale of the wife is needed for the case of 3 fields. 3 fields which are specifically assigned for the ksuba. One is where the husband specified for the ksuba and is written down. V'achas, as we turn over to Nunam and Aleph, Sheikh Allah, the husband designated for a big ksuba. And the final one is which she brought into marriage for him as Nachasim for him. So those are going to be the 3 cases. I'm going to stop over here. We'll pick it up from Lemute Mai V'Siyata Dishmaya.